What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Corruption back again. Happy Halloween 2013. Hopefully if everything goes alright without a hitch, this should be up on Halloween. If not, it might be a day late, so sorry in advance if that happens. Today's subject I'm going to go over with is kind of short, kind of sweet. Not so much for me, but hey. My phobias in life. I've got mainly three big ones. Three. I'm afraid of heights, arachnophobic, and then the main one, which even transitions over into video games, is like hydrophobia. Afraid of water, deep ends of water, deep pools of water, I suppose you could say. Lakes, oceans, anything of that matter, anything I can't really see the bottom of. It's just one of those irrational fears I've had with me all my life. Even as a child, I've had fear of water, and hell, it wasn't even just water, it was kind of liquids. Any dark liquids I couldn't really manage at the time. I don't think too many people noticed it as I was growing up, but I did love, and I still do love soda, especially colas like Coca-Cola. It's probably my favorite soda is Coca-Cola. Except the dark liquid in a glass tended to trigger my hydrophobia, because I would look down in the glass and I would just see the nothing. I couldn't see the bottom of it. There was just nothing to see. And as a child, it just started to freak me out. It was like looking into a liquid and expecting a kraken to just start coming out. And it was kind of terrifying. Yeah. So usually with sodas, I'd try to drink straight from a can where I couldn't even see in there. And I don't know what kind of sense that made, but apparently not seeing the liquid, period, made it a hell of a lot easier to deal with than seeing it in a glass and just seeing dark liquid. I don't know how I managed it. It was crazy. But in video games, this is a transitioning phobia, because there's a lot of video games that when I go to play, I have issues when I get suddenly thrown in water. It usually results with me immediately hitting the pause button and just getting up and walking the hell out of the room. Like, nope, fuck it, I'm done. And Far Cry 3 was one of those games that ended up being that kind of game. There was a few areas where you would get thrown into water, have to be thrown into water, and it was just it was a rough game to finish. And when I did finish it, I really didn't want to go for that 100 completion to find all the relics, because there's a lot of them that are underwater. And after being through the campaign and being subjected to the water levels and all that, I was done. I don't mind doing the missions and all that, and I didn't mind going back and playing the free roam on land. Getting in water and gathering the footage for this was kind of rough. Luckily, I was in a Skype call with some friends at the time, and they didn't even realize I was trying to record this footage, so the background noise of them talking basically kind of subjected me to being separated from the game. I wasn't completely immersed in it to get completely freaked out, but I still didn't want to do too deep in them. The clips I show you with the water from Far Cry 3 and Grand Theft Auto 5, I really don't get out very far, and this is as far as I would like to go. Grand Theft Auto 5 was kind of a pain in the ass when the mission called for me to get into a submarine and be underwater, and their underwater is pretty realistic looking when you get to the more oceanic life. The one section of the beach where I went here, I was pretty pleased with that. It didn't look like much of anything other than a blue void with a sandy bottom. I was really happy with that to record this, because it was freaking me out to even be swimming. It took me a while to even figure out how to dive, because I don't swim in this game. I don't swim in any game if I can help it. And this really started kicking off in video games, where this hydrophobia really became prominent and I couldn't really handle it. Was back in the days of Mario 64, when the 64 first released. And Jolly Roger Bay, yeah, fuck that level. I do not appreciate that level. I don't like that level. I don't want anything to do with that level. Fuck that eel. Fuck that boat. Fuck the eel mama. I don't want anything to do with any of it. Now, surprisingly though, same game on the top floor, I can't remember what the name of the level is called, But there is the one portrait with like the little water strider or whatever, and depending on how you jump into the portrait was how high the water level would be within this level. And this level didn't bother me any because the water really didn't even look like water. I mean, it was just like you were swimming in air. It was just a very clear water. It didn't have that ambience and everything. And it was really fun to actually play that level and not be freaked out. So I used to play that level actually a lot because it was one of the only levels that I could actually swim in and not be completely freaked out. But later installments of games, as they got more realistic and the underwater levels got a little bit better, I just finally, no, I don't really like doing them. But Far Cry 3, I absolutely love that game. I just can't really experience the full game because I can't do the water level. It's not really a level, it's the whole goddamn game is like based on water, so I really can't do a lot of the game. But when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5, I don't really know how much is underwater with this game. I knew that one part is underwater, and I did not really appreciate that one. I kind of freaked out a bit. And once again, at least I was in a Skype call during that time I was playing that level. Yeah, but they did know this time that I was playing it. Not that I was recording footage for it, but I was just playing it. I was in a call, just talking to people. And I finally told them, you know what, I gotta pause this. This is, no. And they kind of laughed at me a bit, and they're thinking, wow, yeah, fuck this. I can't do water. I cannot do it. And I don't know how many people actually have this kind of an issue with their phobias in video games. I really don't even know what really triggers on too much for people. I would assume heights and possibly water are pretty dominant in the video game phobias, because some of the heights, even like in Grand Theft Auto 5, it's kind of... I'll tend to clinch up a bit if we get into an instant fall that I wasn't expecting, but it doesn't trigger like my phobia itself. I've actually got to experience that, you know, where I've got to look down off of a balcony and say, oh crap, I'm gonna die. That's the only time that will trigger. Water doesn't even have to be physical water, it just has to look, sound, and just resemble water. Now as for spiders, I don't really get too freaked out in video games about spiders. Mainly because in most video games that you have to deal with spiders, you have the option of killing them. And usually the most extreme scenarios that you can. Because if I could actually take a flamethrower to every spider that I've seen, I may or may not have any material items left within my possession, but the little furry bastards will be dead. So, I kind of was wondering how many other people may have these kind of phobias, and just kind of looking around, I figured it'd be an interesting idea and a different twist on the Halloween specials instead of just going off and playing all the survival horror games and such that I really can't handle right now because I've kind of made myself sick off the survival horror series with newer releases. I haven't even played Dead Space or anything like that, so I guess I can't really say that, but after I've played so many of the Resident Evil games, and they've only been getting worse and worse over the years, and even the same with Silent Hill, I finally just kind of like, I've kind of signed off survival horror until I see something a little bit more appealing. Anyways, this is your boy Corruption. I'm out. Sorry there wasn't too much gameplay footage on the water-specific discussion, but just trust me when I say that getting that footage was a tough challenge, and I am glad to be done with it. Anyways, this is your boy. Take care.